Hello and welcome back to World 360. The world was shocked last week when reports emerged that former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot dead in broad daylight. Condolences poured in from across the globe, including from world leaders like PM Modi, US President Joe Biden, and many others. What's interesting, however, is that Japan is a country where political violence and gun crimes are rare, which is underlined in the fact that the shooter used a homemade gun. If we look deeper into the issue, it appears the suspected shooter targeted Abe because of his and his family's support to a political religious movement known as the Unification Church. 41-year-old Tetsuya Yamagami, the suspected shooter, is believed to have worked in a freight department of a factory in Kyoto until May this year. He told police that his mother was a member of the Unification Church in Japan, who attended church events about once a month. He blamed his mother's donations to the organization for his family's eventual bankruptcy. Further, he held Abe's grandfather responsible for expanding the religious group in Japan. I thought that former Prime Minister Nobusuke Kishi contributed to the expansion of the group, and I thought about killing his grandson, former Prime Minister Abe. Yamagami, who himself was not a member of the church, told the police. On Tuesday, the Unification Church confirmed that the mother of the suspect had been a church member since about 1998 and that the family suffered financial ruin around 2002. The church is currently cooperating with police to understand potential motives behind the assassination. So, what exactly is the Unification Church? The Unification Church is known by many names, such as the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, or simply the Family Fed. It was founded in 1954 in South Korea by a man named Sun Myung Moon. This is why the group's members are sometimes known as Moonies. Keep in mind, however, that Moon was initially excommunicated by mainstream Protestant churches. Now, Moon was believed to be a Korean messiah, and the church's beliefs are based on his book, Divine Principle, which presents itself as a new revelation from God. The Divine Principle borrows a lot from the Bible, and the earliest manuscript was purportedly lost in North Korea during the Korean War. Nonetheless, Moon claimed to have been instructed by God to complete Jesus Christ's unfinished work on earth, and the movement gained pace thereafter. Upon moving to the US in the 1970s, however, Moon was convicted for tax evasion and served almost a year in prison. His church was widely viewed as a cult at the time. Now, if you look at the group's official website, it's clear that family and God-centered marriage are central to the church's beliefs. Therefore, it's no surprise that the church is known for its mass weddings, sometimes held in sports stadiums. It is known as the marriage blessing, in which couples dedicate or rededicate their marriage to a greater purpose and God. So how did the Unification Church in South Korea reach Japan? It is widely regarded that the church made a footprint in Japan around 1959 when missionaries were sent into the neighboring country. The church also began a footprint in the US around the 1950s. According to a research paper published by Hokkaido University, a man named Choi Bang-chun, an early disciple of Moon, entered Japan illegally in 1958 and initiated missionary activities. By 1964, the Unification Church in Japan, headed by then Chairman Osami Koboki, was officially recognized as a religious institution. But the big question remains, what did Abe and his family have to do with the Unification Church? Although not members, Abe and his late grandfather, Nobusuke Kishi, publicly supported the church. Kishi, who served as Japanese Prime Minister between 1957 and 1960, is said to have been involved with founding a political group linked to the religious body. Abe also allegedly sent a message to an event organized by another group related to the church last year. Now, Jeffrey J. Hall, an expert on nationalist activism at Kanda University of International Studies, told Financial Times that the Unification Church had been involved in conservative politics in Japan since Abe's grandfather's era and has served as an important voter base. This group has been one of the bases of the LDP's campaigns since that time in the Cold War, when the church was a reliable ally against communism, Hall said. They worked with the Kishi faction of the LDP, which later became the Abe faction. Thank you so much for watching. This is Pia Krishnankutty for ThePrint. Do subscribe to ThePrint.in and follow us on social media.